Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Babylon 5. This is season 5, episode number 17. This episode is called Movements of Fire and Shadow. Last episode was kind of like a strange thing to have to go through, really. We saw how all of the evidence against the Centauri was being presented in this trial scenario. We had statements and testimony given by Stephen, and Garibaldi and Linnea came with his video and audio of what had happened to the ships when he'd went and followed them when he went on his ranger training mission for Delenn. And to see Londo's reaction to those images and those sounds was really interesting, because even the council have said, look, he's probably not even aware that this has been his own people. And then we've got his own people saying to him, they're going to try and pin it on us. And he was caught in the middle. But then toward the end, we saw how he sided with his homeworld, which we know from War Without End has the consequences of what we saw outside of the window. And he had that fractious relationship with John and Delenn when he was talking to them, and he had to basically drink to the point where his keeper was like asleep so he could help them get away. So we've seen kind of like the depths of what happened to Londo, but we don't kind of know the middle centre yet. And I kind of have a feeling that this is kind of what's going to end this season, is we're going to see how everything unfolds for us to then get to that point at the end of War Without End. And it's going to be interesting because obviously Delenn basically already said her goodbye to him when she gave him that hug. Of all of the people, like even Londo said Linnea wouldn't fabricate this, but he's in the stickiest of situations as Londo, and he knows he's going to become emperor. I don't think that the regent's alive. I genuinely think he's long gone, and they keep, the ministers on Centauri homeworld keep saying, oh, this is an order from the regent, but we know it isn't. It's coming from the Shadow Allies. It's coming from that keeper that he has on him, that other guy that was just randomly there. And then, you know, we've got Jakar now saying his goodbyes because he won't let Londo go off by himself. And we seem to be in one hell of a bloody predicament. So how this moves forward is going to be interesting. Let's go.
Yes.
Rough night.
Mr. President. You're up late. It's almost 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
What's wrong?
I was just on my way to my quarters. Figured I'd stop by and bring you up to speed on the latest from Mr. Garibaldi. We've had reports, unconfirmed but reliable, that the Centauri have begun targeting enemy jump gates. They might even be willing to strike here.
I've considered that possibility.
Shit.
I don't think we're going to have to worry about it for a while, though.
I do.
Even the Centauri have to realize that Babylon 5 is vital to the peace process.
Maybe that's why they want to destroy it.
Until the White Star Fleet
It's vital.
Exactly. I gave the formal go order a few hours ago. The White Stars are authorized to fire on any Centauri warship engaged in combat with Alliance vessels.
Holy Mother of
Any
God.
hope of neutrality Babylon 5 had until now
It's gone.
just went up in smoke. I need to ask you to do something I don't want to ask you to do.
Oh no.
We are going to need more ships to land, bigger.
Oh God.
That may be a problem.
The worker cast
Ray
won't like
Council
it, maybe.
approved construction on the White Star Fleet for use during the Shadow War. We were fortunate to marry them afterward.
I just had a courier deliver a message to President Luchenko suggesting a joint Earth-Minbari project.
Oh.
Now we'll start.
I like to see that lady's still around from the end of season 4 on Earth.
Material for a destroyer-class White Star.
So you would like me to contact the Grey Council and propose this?
I need you to go there in person, Delenn. This has to be done in secret until the first prototype rolls off the assembly line.
Oh.
But
is he doing it to keep her
space
safe?
flights from here to Minbar are not safe. If you run into trouble,
Walk out of it. More dignified that way.
She usually does, to be
you don't
honest.
have to do this.
I know.
But she will.
I'll arrange to leave at the first opportunity.
The exchange of bodies during hostilities is a key point to the Declaration of Principles. Now, the Drazy signed on, same as everyone else.
I know, but they're still not returning the bodies.
But Londo severed ties with the Alliance. Is that why they won't return the bodies?
What are we supposed to do about it?
You, as the chief medical officer of the
Might
Alliance,
know about
you could put
it?
pressure on them into returning the bodies. And a telepath, a good one, could find out what they're hiding and where and why.
You know, this means going to the Drazy homeworld.
I have a free transport standing by.
He's
And
really
since they're
planned this
declared
out.
neutral in the war, they would have no problem landing on Drazy homeworld.
I'll have to clear it with the president.
I'll abide by his decision.
The Regent either ordered the war directly or allowed others to act on his behalf. Either way, the only way to stop this war is to go up against the Regent himself.
I think
In
he's
order
dead.
to do that, demonstrating that the Regent is not acting responsibly is the first step in countermanding his orders to our ships. Now, please, leave me alone.
To sleep?
Tired, and I need to get some
Holy Mother of God. That sounded like a shadow scream. What's that? Oh shit. I think we've seen those guys before. And someone else had like a flash. Oh my god.
What do you want with me?
Is this another shadow ally? This planet's full of them.
He will be sufficient.
You were having a nightmare.
Yes,
Was he?
terrible. I have to get out of here.
Yes, that's what I've been saying for some time now.
No, I have to get out of here now.
The planet?
I have this feeling something is terribly wrong.
What I am trying to get from all of you is a sense of their strategy.
One part of the fleet is designed to protect their bases from attack, while the other wing engages primarily in offensive maneuvers against everyone else.
He's doing
Has there
better
been any
today.
exchange between the two sides?
Is this typical of their strategy, General Natak?
No, perhaps they have changed.
Maybe. It's strange, though.
Their strategy has not yet become clear.
And this doesn't seem strange to you?
Lockley, go.
We've got a situation developing up here, Captain.
We have the resources to be more aggressive, to strike at their holdings in a more meaningful way.
But they're not.
Why are we not doing so?
We must have our revenge.
This isn't about revenge, General. This is about taking out their ability to make war.
It is for the Drazy.
We strike cleanly, surgically, and we do not hit civilian targets. Do I make myself absolutely crystal clear?
Is Alpha Squadron still out there?
Standing by. Getting some additional readings from the probe. Weapon system's currently not active.
That's encouraging.
Getting some unusual readings from the jump engines. Could be an error in the scanners. Life signs read...
Are they gonna...
Captain, life signs read negative.
It's to
There's
take...
no one
It's
aboard
to
that
take...
cruiser.
It's to take out the
She's on
gate.
auto control. Minimal damage to jump gate struts and control mechanism.
Still gotta go do some repairs though, I guess.
Holding together.
The humans do not have the stomach for this war. We will end it as it should be ended.
Oh,
By
Jesus.
striking the Centauri homeworld. If you are with us.
We are with you.
Holy shit.
Mr. President,
Michael, do you have to lean on the doorbell?
sorry, I ran all the way over here. You gotta see this.
Communication.
This is the latest from the Rangers on the disposition of our forces. 30% of the Narn and the Drazy fleet have gone missing.
What?
Oh, shit.
They tried to hide it, but we got the beacon IDs on all the ships in the area where fighting's going on. John, I think they're headed right for Centauri Prime.
Damn it! All right, give me a white star. Any of them. I don't care, just so long as it's fast.
I personally surveyed the damaged ships, and the bodies were in such disarray that you could not put any of them together and make sense out of it. Just parts floating in space.
Why are you lying to us?
I'm not. This is an outrage.
Lead it down!
It should have been like, surprise! It's a telepath! Oh! Leader! Oh, Leader's gone past the point of no shits.
What are you hiding?
Any further news from Babylon 5?
No, not since the...
What is it?
Trouble. I read 4 Centauri warships. Too many to fight.
Evasive maneuvers.
Oh, John did say it was dangerous.
They've seen us.
Jump to normal space. Notify Babylon 5 before...
Open it. See what the hell was so important you were willing to kill us for it. Come on.
Oh, God. It's so unnerving seeing Stephen like this.
Holy. Where are all the bodies? What is this stuff?
There are no bodies. The attacking Centauri warships were empty. No crew members aboard.
Oh, shit.
No one to capture, no bodies to return. There were only these attached to the system.
Oh!
This is.
I thought he was dead!
I've always tried to keep my promises, especially to those who have been kind to me.
Regent, I've been trying to see you for some time.
And now it is your time.
To take over?
Mine is almost over. I won't live to see what follows.
Why? What is going to follow?
This is leftover shadow technology, Mr. President. The Vorlons gave me information on them in case I ever ran across one, and I understand a few years ago one was found by the Psi Corps. It's an organic device used to control a ship from a long distance. You put 2 or 3 of these on board a starship and you don't even need a crew.
I managed to get to the consoles and check on our condition. How bad is it? Jump engines are offline. Most of the crew are dead. We have enough power in our navigational thrusters to keep from going too far off the beacon.
But if we use that, what about oxygen?
But once they run out, we'll start to drift.
Distress signal
activated.
What did they ask you to do?
To send away all the ships guarding Centauri Prime on a false emergency.
And leave them wide open?
And turn off the planetary defense network.
Oh.
No.
I think I'll stay.
And watch?
And watch from here. The sky should be lighting up any time now.
Oh.
I imagine it will be quite beautiful.
Is he going to be safe? Oh, not again.
No.
This, not expected at all. Seeing John having these meetings with Lockley, the Drazy, the Prekiri, the Nan, trying to kind of figure out what's going on with Centauri ships. What are the patterns? What are their tactics? Them saying to John, well, the tactics aren't the usual tactics that they usually used, especially when fighting the Nan. So they knew something was quite different there. And obviously it's because they've got this influence from the Shadow Allies on Centauri Prime. The tactics are different and they were trying to figure out, why would they suddenly change? Seeing Stephen and Lita go off to the Drazy homeworld. I love when Stephen and Lita go on little field trips together. They always tend to be like brilliant little side stories for us to follow. Those guys going to the Drazy homeworld and then discovering that the reason why there never seem to be life signs on these ships is because they're being piloted by Shadow Tech. And then we saw that because when the ships were coming through toward Babylon 5 to destroy the jump gate, which was something we'd learned had been happening quite a lot recently, there was no life signs on board. And it was because the Shadow Tech were the ones kind of taking orders, getting orders sent to them to do the work. So there was no pattern, like John was saying. There was no goal here. The aim was just to isolate the Centauri, turn everybody on the Alliance against each other. The Drazy are wanting revenge. Like they were saying, they want war. That's how they would look at it. The Nan will want revenge for what happened during the Nan-Centauri war. And it's just a little bit insane. John being worried that Babylon 5 wasn't going to be safe and wanting more White Stars because of depletion from the Shadow War, asking Delenn to go speak to the Grey Council, although with it being dangerous in space as well, he was a little bit conflicted, I think. Is it safe for her to be here? Is it safe for her to take this journey? But because this journey needed doing, she was always going to do it. And then seeing what happened to the White Star that she's on with Linnea, we are running the risk of them starting to drift. They've sent out a signal. Whether or not that reaches anybody, God knows. So we've now got Delenn and Linnea in one sticky situation. We've got John taking all the White Stars because the Nan and the Drazy got together and decided to go bomb the Centauri homeworld. So John's chasing those guys to try and stop those guys. And then we've got the Regent, who for a really long time I've just presumed dead because we never saw him. They spoke of him but said orders were coming through him. But I just didn't trust that minister, the one that seems to have a lot of power and influence and sway with the other members of the Ministry of Defence. And to see that Londo actually got to speak to him was really interesting because I really feel for that guy. that guy was actually quite sweet. He was really funny the last time we saw him. He was really excited about decorating the palace. And I think because we've seen this shift in him, it's so different now because obviously he's still in there somewhere. Like we saw with Captain Jack, he was still in there somewhere, but there was nothing he could do because of the control. And learning that he knew that the Nan, the Drazy, maybe not them particularly, but members of the Alliance would come and try and take revenge on Centauri Prime and bomb the planet, that he sent all the ships away and he took down all of the defences. And we now know it's because, or at least I think it's because of what happened in regards to the sanctuary that was offered to the Shadows on Centauri Prime, Londo then blowing up the island. They've obviously learned that that's what happened. And so they've gone to Centauri Prime. They've taken over. They're running the place. And it's all, I think, in revenge for what happened to the Shadows when they got blown up on the island. And Centauri, Londo basically turned their back on the Shadows, Morden, and they had to flee Zahadum. So to see that, they've made it so that the Centauri are isolated and everyone on the Alliance is now against them, basically, they've kind of done their job. They've probably run away now. Londo having that dream, and we saw those 3 alien-like people, I'm certain we've seen them before. Someone else had a flash or a dream or something that I think we saw them in, because for some reason in my head I was like, I'm sure I've seen this. Why have I seen this? So I think we have seen that, but who it was or when it was, I would not be able to say. The fact that Londo had that dream and was like, we need to get out, something's wrong, was also telling. But now we've got Centauri Prime sitting duck. The Regent really excited because he's like, it's going to be beautiful. Jakar trapped in a cell, happily writing his little book. And then we've got Londo just staring up at the sky. And instead of it being shadow ships, it's jump points opening. And to see that is insane. Actually insane. Because to be fair, all Londo's ever wanted is the best for his people. If you kind of think about it, him aligning himself with Morden in the first place because he thought that might have been for the good of his people has led to this. And there's a lot of people probably about to die. So I may just have to go watch the next one and I will see you guys later. So thank you.